Why Good People Do Bad Things by Kenneth W. Beek, Jr., a.k.a. Kenny Wayne. Well said, replied Candide, but we must cultivate our garden. Voltaire, Candide. I had to get coffee. I don't buy it. No money, no job, no income. This is the closest I come to stealing. At the resource center, they stack several oversized filters, pre-filled with grounds in a container beneath the machine. They're kept there so that brewing the next batch is less bothersome. I just grab one off the stack, bag it up, tuck it into my backpack. They know I'm taking it, so it isn't really stealing. But I don't ask. If I were to ask, they'd have to say no. It's their job. I'm just trying to be less bothersome. Peggy greeted me at the soup kitchen door with a warm, genuine smile which I've come to associate with her friendly face and demeanor. She's been working there a while, and like most of the staff, if not all of them, she could be doing other things. She has to want to help people to do the job she does. Her kindness, which radiates from the surface, must extend further than skin deep. It has to. She was talking with Anita when I entered the soup kitchen, who I hadn't seen in a minute, so I gave her a gentle punch on the shoulder, a buddy punch, a love tap. She whaled me with a real knuckler right between my shoulder blades. Anita is a hard-hitting woman. I imagine she probably used to beat the piss out of her brother Peter. She's got a few years on him. She still treats him like a kid. He's 30-something. What are you doing? She asked me. Stealing. I kept right on moving. She followed me. I could tell she was pretty tipsy. I could also tell she was upset about something. Howie fell off the wagon, she reported. He lost his place already, and Pete's hitting the pipe again. You sound sick, I said. I was ignoring the other trivia. It was news, but not really. I'm getting over a cold, she explained. I bagged up my grounds, packed them away, and filled a Dunkin' Donuts cup with hot coffee. The cup was pretty beat. The plastic cover was cracking and grimy looking. There were layers of discolored stains all over the outside of the paper cup from several uses it had already survived. It was not long for this world. I decided to grab a couple cookies at the serving counter. Benny was in front of me in line. He was drunk, but not drunk enough to make me want to punch him in the face. He was just drunk enough to evoke an air of pity. I'd like to say seeing him elicited a sense of sympathy, but he'd have to care about himself. That's what makes me pity him. He doesn't care anymore. There was a book written some years back, decades ago I believe, titled Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. I've never read it, but I'm pretty sure the book's intended purpose was to explain why God doesn't come down from his throne in heaven to save little old ladies from being mugged or small children from being murdered or molested. To contemplate matters of spirituality is admirable to me, and I wouldn't criticize a person for attempting to examine these sorts of issues. They should be pondered upon more frequently by more people. But I feel a far more central and therefore crucial question would be, why do good people do bad things? Ben is the reason I couldn't work at a place like Preble. I don't know how Peggy and the others do it. They have to go to work every day and watch decent people destroy what's left of themselves because they've lost hope. The office they work in is a pretty dark alley. After I got my cookies, I got out of the kitchen, quick. I set my coffee on the brick windowsill outside the kitchen while I dug out my phone. When I picked up the cup again, it was leaking. The bottom was about to give out. You want to smoke some Keith? Shane offered, coming out of nowhere, handing me a travel mug. Of course, I said. It's a nice treat these days. I'm allowed to smoke pot even on probation, but I don't get to do it very often. Mostly I just smoke cigarettes, drink coffee, and write. But I enjoy cannabis when I can. Shane and I have known each other for years, probably 2 or 3 decades. It's been long enough to lose track. He had some guy hanging out with him I'd never seen before. Having known me as long as he has, Shane tells a lot of stormy tales. They're all based in some sort of reality, but they aren't true stories. That's how rumors begin to become legends. People talk, and sometimes people listen. These are the roots of fame and infamy. I have a bad reputation, almost infamous. Nearly every narrative ends with me kicking somebody's ass. If I was helping little old ladies cross the street, nobody would talk about me. Maybe that's why God doesn't do it. As the 4 of us stood in the corner smoking, Shane recited a couple of fables. One, which was entirely fiction and that I'd never heard before. Another, almost true story, which I'd heard too many times. Each featuring a familiar finale, me hurting someone. I wanted to get high, but pondered, is the juice really worth the squeeze? Peter walked up, and Anita laid into him. She mothers him, and he enjoys it. It's how he knows someone cares. His sister bitches at him, so he knows she loves him. Even though she was crying, I think Anita enjoyed it too. She needs someone to suffer for as much as he needs someone to suffer for him. If they didn't care about each other, who would? After we finished smoking a bowl, I showed them a chillum I'd brought from home. Shane knew why I pulled it out. What do you want for it, he asked. A joint, I said. It'll probably be a $30 piece in a store. He pulled out his pot, promptly paid me, and I got off the block. I'd had enough. As I walked down the hill towards home, I passed the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, aka the Sally. When I'd first met the gnome, Clay Stone, I'd been sitting right there playing guitar on the sidewalk. I met him the first week I was in Portland. Clay looks like a hippie version of a traditional garden gnome. He stands at least a foot shorter than me, and we both have long hair and beards, but his are both gnome white. He's a huge Beatles fan, and when I play songs by them, he joins in with backing vocals. This has been cracking me up for years. If I'm playing and I sing the line, "And when I tell you that I love you," he follows my lead vocal with his groovy far-out nasally backup, bouncing with the rhythm while laying his hand down towards me as if to invite some non-existent lover of mine into my world. "And when he tells you that he loves you," he sings. You can't buy entertainment like that. It's priceless. As I crossed Marginal Way singing "I Should Have Known Better," a random guy approached me, saying he needed help. I was willing to help if I could. "I'm a truck driver," he said. There was an 18-wheeler idling behind him in the street. My whole body was killing me, and I immediately envisioned him wanting me to unload the box container of the truck. Unless it was packed with loose feathers, I wouldn't be of much use. "What do you need?" I inquired. "Hard." I didn't want anything to do with that. I just left Crack Central. I was practically stammering when I responded to him. "Oh, well," I began, gesturing in the direction of where I just left. "You're heading in the right way. Stay on the road you're on and just drive towards the clock." "Nah," he said. "I need you to come with me. I'll take care of you." No, I said. "I'm on probation and I'm clean and sober. Just drive towards the clock. You'll know when you're in the right neighborhood." He thanked me kindly and handed me $5. I was broke, so it was appreciated. I needed $5. I'll be honest, I thought about helping him score, because I needed help myself. I'm destitute. Not all money's good money, though. Poverty is a poor defense in court. If they didn't send the impoverished to prison, there'd be no jails. Drugs shouldn't be illegal anyway. This is a grown man, a taxpayer with a professional job, probably just off a long haul, trying to cop coke off a stranger on the side of the road in an unfamiliar city. And somehow, people see the drug as the problem. Maybe the guy has a drug problem. Addiction is a problem with which I'm familiar. As long as it remains illegal, it will remain a problem. The fact that it's illegal is the problem. A large part of addiction is scoring. There's something of excitement in it for the addict, whether it be social interaction or the act itself, or a feeling of accomplishment. Another major factor in addiction is defiance. Whenever you tell people they can't do something, the more people want to do it. There's a story about paradise that describes it pretty well. The serpent has left the garden. He lurks behind us now, in the jungle. I continued walking towards home, contemplating culture and liberty and lies, and wondering how people can just accept the line of bullshit they're handed from the cradle to the grave without even questioning it. Thoreau worded it pretty well when he said, "Men lay around on their backs all their lives complaining about the fall of man without ever standing up." And he was no slouch, despite what anyone says about him. I take a shortcut from Preble Street to Forest Ave. It brings me through the Hannaford's parking lot. I don't shop there anymore. I don't even like walking by the place, but it saves several minutes. As I passed the front of the store, I ran into Clay. When I burst into laughter, he looked at me as if I'd lost my mind. "I was just thinking about you," I explained. He chuckled faintly as if I might be crazy, so I figured I'd elaborate. "It's not like I walk around thinking about you all day, Clay. Don't get it twisted." "That's good," he said, pointing his finger towards me in affirmation. "That wouldn't be healthy." "No," I continued, "I was just thinking about how we used to sing Beatles songs together." "We could still do that," he exclaimed, pointing skyward, acknowledging a good idea. As I walked away towards home, I looked up at the sky as if I was looking for God. Why am I looking up? I asked myself aloud. Then I looked all around in a panoramic sweep of my surroundings, and Clay was helping a little old lady cross the street. Kenneth W. Beek, Jr., Saturday, March 16th, 2019. R.I.P. Anita. We love you and we miss you.